The question is, do I want Breshad Perriman or do I want Robby Anderson? Well, I'm going to have a lot of time to think about this question because Nelson Agholor wants to go to the Indianapolis Colts. And you know what? I'm going to drive him there. I'm headed there right now. I'm going to pick him up and I'm going to take his ass to Indianapolis. Hail the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly. Gary Cooper, asshole. Oh, Diva! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That was crazy! Happy trails, Hans. Dallas still stinks. Nelson, 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 he stinks. Gonna make cold fans drink. Oh, you there? Oh, didn't see ya. Everybody doing? Ting ding back here. And I hope everybody's having a great day, great weekend. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna choke. Just working on my next iTunes hit. Nelson stinks. Coming soon. Anyways, do you know that the Combine is this week? It's coming up this week and I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the Combine. If I can get home early, I may even stream some of it. There are so many guys that I got my eye on, that I want to watch, that I want to see. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. I'm ready for the whole season, man. I'm ready for free agency, start the draft, trades. I need it. I need it bad, you know what I mean? It's going to be exciting. Now, I did read a story yesterday. I did. Where are my keys? There you go. I need the keys to tell you this part of the story because it's part of it. But I just read a story yesterday that Nelson Agholor is super, super interested. And the Colts are interested in him. He wants to go to Indianapolis and play for Frank Reich, Mike Rowe again. And that's what he wants. And I got to say this. If you're going to go to the Colts, I will be there soon. And I will drive your ass there to make sure you get there safely, non-stop, to get his ass out of Philly. Cannot wait. Get It's Just Nelson out of there. And when he signs and when he goes, I guarantee the amount of alcoholics in that city will go up 20%. 20%. It's just Nelson, man. It's just Nelson. Gotta get rid of him. I cannot wait. I've been waiting years for this. He's been a thorn in my side for years. So I cannot wait. Now, with him gone, with the possibilities of Alshon gone, we know that the Eagles are going to revamp their wide receiving core. And I want to know, and I want you guys to tell me who you want. Who do you want? And I'm not talking about Amari Cooper. I actually think he's going to be the Eagles' #1 target. But me personally, I don't want him. I don't want him. After I saw him, what he did against the Eagles, how he took himself out, was sitting on the sideline at the biggest moment in the game, I think he's too soft for Philly. I don't know if he could handle Philly, handle the criticism, handle the fans. I don't know. He comes off soft to me. That's just me. He's very talented, no question about it, and I think the Eagles will be interested in him. I think, they offered a 2nd-round pick for him a few years ago. Dallas offered a 1st-round pick. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles go after him. He's going to cost a lot of money, though. A lot of money. And I don't want to go pay him. I don't want him, okay? Really, when you look after Amari Cooper and he's gone, who's left? Who do you want left? And that's the question. I think Robby Anderson's probably the 2nd best wide receiver in free agency. And then there's a guy who I think is the biggest sleeper, a guy who's a volcano ready to explode, and I'm talking about Breshad Perriman. And I'm really down to those 2 choices as the guy I want to go after and I want to target. But which one? Which one is better? Because right off the bat, you're going to say, oh, Robby Anderson, look what he's done. He's been with the Jets for a while, and we know what he is. Okay, but I think when you look a little deeper and you look at what the Eagles are trying to do and what they may do, I don't think it's so easy. And I'm not so sure that Robby Anderson's the better fit than Breshad Perriman, okay? Before we go any further, let's go over the statistics, right? So Robby Anderson had 52 catches last year, 779 yards, 5 touchdowns, and averaged about 15 yards per catch. Breshad Perriman had only 36 catches, 645 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he averaged 17.9 yards per catch. So when you look at that, you may say, oh, well, Robby Anderson, he had the better year. But here's the thing. Breshad Perriman kind of figured it out at the end. Okay, in the last 5 games of the season, Breshad Perriman had 25 catches, 506 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He was pretty much on par with Devontae Parker the last 5 games, who were the best 2 receivers in the league towards the end of the year, in those last 5 games. He had a hell of a year at the end of the year, and it's a mini breakout year, but it's not such a breakout year where he's going to go somewhere and get huge money. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to be pretty cheap. When I look at Breshad Perriman, I see a guy he's 6'3", I believe, 215 pounds. He ran a 4.25 at the 40 in the combine. Now, he got hurt at with the Ravens. Took him a while. I don't think he's as fast as he was when he came out, but he's still probably high 4.3s, low 4.4s. He's still fast. He still can get deep. He's still a burner. Not only that, he's big. He's physical. He can run more than just deep routes. When you look at Robby Anderson, right? When you look at Robby Anderson, if we're really honest about Robby Anderson is in a lot of ways a lot like Deshaun Jackson. He's just a vertical deep threat. He's a vertical deep threat, and that's his main thing. He's not going to do a lot of other things. There's a lot of argument. There's a lot of debate amongst Jets fans. I've seen it, where they'll debate and say, somebody will say, well, I think he's a true number 1. Others will say, no, he's just basically a speed wide receiver. He's a deep threat. He's a number 2. Okay? And when you look, first of all, I wanted Robby Anderson at the trade deadline because we needed a deep threat. We didn't have Deshaun Jackson. But next year, we're going to have Deshaun Jackson, right? So if you have Deshaun Jackson, you kind of already have that guy that's Robby Anderson. You don't have an insurance policy behind him, and that's why you have to draft some wide receivers. I would draft 2 wide receivers with the first 3 picks. I'll be getting to that later in another video. But Robby Anderson and Deshaun Jackson are kind of the same wide receiver, in my opinion. Okay? And I think they said that Robby Anderson wants about $15 million a year. Okay? He wants a big contract, so you're going to have to pay him. It's a lot of money for a number 2 wide receiver. If it's me and if we're doing the Philly 500 plan this draft, I'm trading up for one of the top 3 wide receivers. I'm trading up for one of them. CeeDee Lamb, Judy, Ruggs. Okay? I'm trading up for one of them. There's no reason that those guys should not be able to start by some point at the end of the year. And I'm still going to have Deshaun Jackson on the other side. Now, if I have Robby Anderson and Deshaun Jackson, you basically have 2 of the same guys on opposite sides of the field. And who's your true number 1 wide receiver? You don't have it. So I think, and I can't believe I'm at this point, but the more I think about it sensibly, I think Breshad Perriman is the right choice. I think he's the right choice that the Eagles should go, even over Robby Anderson because of the money. Now, if the Eagles really wanted Robby Anderson that bad, let Deshaun Jackson go. Let him go. Cut him, whatever, and bring in Robby Anderson to fill that role where we have Deshaun Jackson. You're not going to sign Robby Anderson as Deshaun Jackson's backup. However, let's say the Eagles sign Breshad Perriman. The valuation for him is he's going to get somewhere like a 1-year, $7 million contract. He's going to get a kind of a prove-it deal. Somebody's going to pay him some money and reward him for what he did the last 5 games, but they're not going to commit long-term to him. And this may be a perfect situation for the Eagles, not to spend so much money, not to spend a lot of money. So let's say he's worth, let's say the Eagles signed him 1 year, $7 million, or 2 years, $14 million, right? And let's say the Eagles do something big and they trade up and they get a wide receiver. Let's say they trade up and they get CeeDee Lamb, right? Let's just say. Because if I sign Breshad Perriman, I am being super aggressive in the draft. I have to trade up at that point, in my opinion. But let's say they did something like that, okay? Now, once he's ready to start, he's really your true number one wide receiver. Breshad Perriman, you can always have him rotate with Deshaun Jackson. He can put him over there. You can move him all around. He ain't going to cost you a lot of money. But if Breshad Perriman continues his success, if he plays a whole year like he played the last 5 games versus Tampa Bay, you have a stud on your hands. You have a stud who you're going to have to pay huge money to, and I would, okay? But I think the Eagles, when I look at it, I think I would personally take a chance, and I'm shocked I'm saying this, but if I'm just being honest, I think I'd take a shot on Breshad Perriman. I think I'd take a shot on him cheap. Make sure you draft a wide receiver. And look, even if you don't draft one of the top 3 wide receivers, let's say you take a Justin Jefferson or you take a Laviska Shenault, okay? Those guys may take a year or two to develop. Maybe they're not ready the first year. You still have Perriman for that 1 year, that 2 years that he's there. He's not there a long time. And you have him. If you bring in Robby Anderson, you basically are playing with 2 number 2 wide receivers who basically, in all truthfulness, are kind of one-trick ponies. They're kind of one-trick ponies. They have deep threat ability, and that's about it. And that's all you're going to get out of them. So I don't know that I keep Deshaun Jackson on the roster and bring in Robby Anderson. If you want to move Deshaun, then bring in Robby Anderson and Perriman, all right. But I think the more and more I think about this, I have to sign Breshad Perriman over Robby Anderson. I know that's kind of maybe a minority view on it, but it just makes sense because I think that he's a volcano ready to explode. And when I say that, I really think that he is so talented and he might have just figured it out and gotten healthy at the same time. And he could be primed for big years. He's no question he has the ability. I mean, he's a big receiver. He's fast. He's a deep threat. He can run all routes. And I think that's how I would go about doing it. I would basically bring Breshad Perriman in, have Deshaun Jackson on the other side, and then draft a wide receiver with 2 of my first 3 picks. And let's see what he could do. If you bring in Robby Anderson, Deshaun, you'll have deep threats, but they won't be. You won't have a guy who can do all the other things. So I think, yeah, I think I have Breshad Perriman as my number 2. Well, my number 1 because I don't want Amari Cooper. But I think Breshad Perriman would be my target in free agency for a wide receiver. And like I said, my focus in free agency is going to be defense heavy. So that's even better because I can spend more money on defense and probably get Breshad Perriman at a bargain. And then I'm going to go heavy offense in the draft. So tell me what you guys think. Breshad Perriman or Robby Anderson? I want to know. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.